Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you try, no matter how many techniques you master, no matter how many books you read, your reality seems stuck in the same loop? Why you keep chasing the life you say you want, but end up back where you started? Why the vision board stays a vision and the journal stays a wish? It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're not manifesting correctly. It's because you don't attract what you want. You attract what you feel safe with. Let that sink in, because right now your life is not a reflection of your highest potential. It's a reflection of what your nervous system has decided is safe. It's not the dream life you've imagined, but the familiar life your body can handle. And until you learn to shift what feels safe, you'll stay in the same patterns. No matter how much you visualize, no matter how many affirmations you repeat, no matter how deeply you desire something different, your nervous system will quietly drag you back to what's familiar, what feels survivable, and what feels like home, even if it's pain, even if it's chaos, even if it's scarcity. So if you're ready to stop repeating the same reality over and over, if you're ready to break the loop and step into the life you know you're meant for, this is the video you need to hear. Stay with me, because what we're about to uncover might just be the key that unlocks it all. Let's get brutally honest here. The truth is, most people don't live in alignment with what they want. They live in alignment with what feels safe, and there's a huge difference between the two. You can think you want love. You can say you want love. But if you grew up in a home where love meant rejection or control or punishment, then your body associates love with pain, so you might find yourself pushing love away without even realizing it. You might get into relationships that feel like home, but home feels like walking on eggshells or never being fully seen, so you unconsciously sabotage the very thing you say you want. The same goes for success. Maybe you think you want to be financially free, but if you grew up watching your parents fight over money, or if you learned that having wealth made you a target or isolated you from others, then your body holds on to the belief that money isn't safe. So no matter how many affirmations you repeat, your subconscious will find a way to spend it, lose it, block it. Because deep down, success feels dangerous, and I'm not just talking about big life goals. Even small patterns reveal this. Maybe you dream of freedom, of breaking out of the routine, but your body feels safer in structure, in control, in predictability. So you make choices that keep you stuck. You procrastinate, you downplay your ideas, you avoid risks. Not because you don't want freedom, but because freedom feels unsafe, and your nervous system will always prioritize safety over desire. It's a survival mechanism built into your biology, and until you address that, no vision board, no manifestation ritual will stick, because your body is not on board with the change. It's a bit like planting a seed in rocky soil. You can water it every day, but if the ground underneath isn't fertile, nothing will grow. And here's the kicker. Most people don't even realize this is happening. They keep blaming themselves for not manifesting. They think they're not disciplined enough or spiritual enough or worthy enough, but it's not about discipline. It's about the nervous system. It's about the hidden contracts you've made with safety, the agreements your body made a long time ago about what's safe and what's dangerous. And most of these agreements were written in childhood, when you had no choice, when you absorbed beliefs about the world and yourself without knowing it. So here's the question. You need to sit with what feels safe to your nervous system right now, even if it doesn't match what you say you want, because that's the frequency you're broadcasting, and that's what the field is mirroring back to you. You've probably felt it before, that strange resistance when you try to level up your life. Maybe you decide it's finally time to start a business, to ask for a raise, to walk away from that draining relationship. You make the decision in your mind, you feel the excitement in your chest, but then, almost without warning, something inside of you pulls back. Your throat tightens, your stomach knots, your body feels heavy, sluggish, like you're dragging an invisible weight behind you. And you start wondering, why does it feel so hard to move forward? Why does it feel like life is pushing back every time I try to expand? This is where the hidden pattern lives, the invisible contract you made with yourself a long time ago, not consciously, not with words, but with feelings, with survival. Because when you were young, when you were vulnerable, your body learned what it needed to feel safe. Maybe it learned that love came with conditions. Be quiet, stay small, don't express too much. Or maybe it learned that being successful meant being rejected, that every time you shined, someone tried to dim your light. So even now, when you consciously want love, success, abundance, your body remembers that those things once came with pain, and it doesn't want to risk that again. Think of it like this. Imagine a child who grows up in a chaotic household, where arguments explode like bombs. That child might crave peace, might dream of a calm, stable life, but deep down, they associate chaos with home, with family, with connection. So when life starts getting peaceful, they unconsciously stir up drama, because that's what feels familiar. That's what feels safe. Or imagine someone who grew up believing that love is unpredictable, that affection gets withdrawn at random. They might deeply desire a stable, supportive relationship, but their nervous system tenses up when someone treats them consistently well because it feels foreign, almost suspicious. This is the contract. You're not just attracting what you want, you're recreating what your body learned was survivable. You're not sabotaging because you're lazy or broken or unworthy. You're protecting yourself, even if that protection is costing you your dreams. And this is why affirmations and vision boards often fall flat. You can write down a goal 100 times, but if your nervous system sees that goal as dangerous, it will do everything in its power to steer you away. It'll whisper doubts in your ear. It'll make you procrastinate. It'll send you into overthinking spirals. It'll convince you that you're not ready, that you need more time, more healing, more preparation. This is the pattern that repeats in relationships too. You say you want to be loved, but you chase the people who don't value you. You say you want abundance, but you keep undercharging or saying yes to jobs that drain you. You say you want health, but you resist the practices that would actually nourish you. Not because you're failing, but because your body doesn't feel safe in the new. It feels safe in the struggle. And until you see the contract you signed with your past, you can't tear it up. You can't rewrite the agreement. That's why this work is about more than mindset. It's about teaching your body that it's safe to expand, that it's safe to receive, that it's safe to let go of the struggle. So ask yourself, where do I feel safe in the familiar pain? And what part of me is afraid that if I really get what I want, I might lose it again? That fear is what holds the old contract in place. And that's what we're going to break in this video. Let's go deeper into why you stay stuck, even when you swear you're ready for change. Because you think it's your mindset, that's the problem, but it's not. It's your nervous system. Your body is holding on to safety in a way that your mind doesn't even see. You can tell yourself every day that you deserve love, that you're worthy of abundance, that you're ready for freedom. But if your nervous system has learned that those things equal danger, it's going to resist them. It's going to treat them like a threat. Imagine you grew up in a home where love came and went. Maybe one day your parent was warm, the next day cold, unpredictable. So your body learned to anticipate inconsistency, to always be on guard, because that felt safer than relaxing into the unknown. Now fast forward to your adult life. You meet someone who's steady, who shows up for you. But it feels off. You feel restless, like you can't trust it. And so you pull away, or you pick fights, or you convince yourself they're too boring. This isn't because you don't want love. It's because your body has never felt safe in it. Or take money. Maybe you grew up in a household where success brought conflict. Maybe someone in your family made a little money and it changed them. They became distant or controlling. So even though you say you want financial freedom, your body learned that money equals loss of connection or isolation. So when you get close to making more, you self-sabotage, you procrastinate, you downplay your skills, not because you don't want abundance, but because your body has never known safety in abundance. This is why change feels like a threat, not because you're weak or broken, but because your nervous system is wired for survival, and survival is all about familiarity. It's all about repeating the known, even when the known is painful. Think of it like this. Your nervous system is like an old alarm system wired to go off when it senses danger. But the problem is, it can't tell the difference between real danger and the unknown. It just knows that anything unfamiliar is risky. So even if the unfamiliar is healthy love or financial stability or peace, your body will try to pull you back into chaos because chaos is what it knows. This is why you can't just think your way into a new life. You can't just affirm your way into a new relationship or visualize your way into abundance. If the foundation is shaky, your nervous system has to feel safe in what you want before you can hold it. And here's the kicker. The more you push against this pattern, the louder the resistance becomes. The more you try to force change, the more your body clings to the old. It's why you can want a healthy relationship and keep going back to the ex who hurt you. It's why you can want to start a business but never feel ready to launch. It's why you can want peace but keep finding yourself in conflict. Because the body remembers what the mind forgets. The body holds the score. The body is where the pattern lives. So, until you build safety into the thing you desire, until your nervous system feels safe in the love, the money, the freedom, you will keep attracting what's familiar. Not because it's what you want, but because it's what you know. And that's the key. If you want to create something new, you have to teach your body that the new is safe. That's the real work, and we'll go even deeper into that in the next section. Now, this is where most people give up. They say, I've tried, I've journaled, I've visualized, I've meditated, and nothing works because they're trying to force change on the outside without shifting the safety signals on the inside, and this is the moment where you have a choice. You can keep trying to manifest a life that your body doesn't feel safe in, or you can do the deeper work of teaching your nervous system that safety isn't just in survival. Safety can exist in love, in abundance, in peace, but that's going to take a different kind of commitment. It starts with awareness, because you can't change what you don't see. You have to start noticing how your body reacts to what you say you want. For example, you say you want more money, but when you imagine asking for a raise, your chest tightens, your breath shortens, your mind races with fear of being rejected or seen as greedy. That's the signal you're sending. Not I'm ready for more, but I'm not safe to receive it. Or you say you want love, but when you imagine opening up to someone who's emotionally available, your stomach twists, you get restless, you want to run. That's your body saying love isn't safe, not because you don't deserve it, but because it doesn't feel familiar. So the work isn't just in the words, it's in the body. You have to practice creating a new internal state that matches the reality you want, and that's not about affirmations on paper. It's about embodiment. Here's how you start. You slow down when you notice the fear, when you feel the tightness, the contraction, the urge to sabotage. You pause, and instead of running from it, you get curious. You ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where is it in my body? What does it remind me of? Because usually it's not the current situation that's creating the fear. It's an old memory, an old pattern, trying to stay alive. Maybe you remember being told you're too much, so you learn to shrink. Maybe you remember trying to speak up and being dismissed, so you learn to stay quiet. Maybe you remember being told that success changes people, so you learn to stay small. These moments shaped your nervous system, and your nervous system became the gatekeeper to what you feel safe receiving. So to create a new life, you have to create a new baseline of safety. You have to practice feeling safe in what you desire. You have to sit with the discomfort of expansion and remind your body it's safe to be seen, safe to have money, safe to love, safe to be loved. This isn't about pretending to feel safe. It's about slowly expanding your window of tolerance for the things you want. For example, if asking for a raise feels terrifying, maybe you start by practicing saying the words out loud in the mirror until it feels less threatening. Or if being vulnerable in love feels unsafe, maybe you start by sharing one small truth with someone you trust and notice that you survive, that you're still safe. This is the reprogramming process, and it's slow, it's subtle, it's uncomfortable, but it's the only way to shift your reality, because the universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you feel safe with, and if you don't feel safe holding it, you'll keep sabotaging it. So the next time you catch yourself saying, why do I keep ending up in the same situations? Why does it feel like I'm running in circles? Pause and ask yourself, what does my nervous system believe is safe? And that's where the real work begins, because when you start teaching your body that the life you desire is safe to have, safe to hold, safe to experience, that's when reality starts to shift, not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. So here's where it gets real. Because once you begin to teach your body that it's safe to receive what you desire, you start to see life differently. And this is where most people get stuck, because they expect the external world to change. First, they think, once I have the money, I'll feel safe. Once I meet the person, I'll feel worthy. Once I get the opportunity, I'll feel capable. But that's backwards. You have to feel safe. First, safe in the absence. Safe in the waiting safe, even when nothing outside is changing. Because the reality is the external will always mirror the internal. So what does it look like to live from this new frequency of safety? It's when you stop chasing and start aligning. It's when you let go of the timeline, when you stop trying to control how and when things unfold, because you trust that you're safe now, not later, not after the manifestation arrives, but now. It's when you notice the old triggers rising up, and instead of collapsing into fear, you breathe, you ground, you remind your body, we are safe. It's okay to feel this. It's okay to expand. It's okay to want more. For example, imagine you've always struggled with money. You grew up hearing, there's never enough. You watched your parents fight about bills. So now as an adult, you find yourself avoiding looking at your bank account. You get a sudden opportunity for a raise, but you freeze. You feel like it's too much responsibility. You sabotage it without even realizing it. This is the moment to pause and rewire. You sit with the discomfort of receiving you. Let the nervous system shake. You breathe through the tightness in your chest. You remind yourself, I'm safe to have more. I'm safe to grow. I'm safe to be seen. Or maybe you're in a relationship where you're used to being the one who gives, and when someone finally shows up to meet you, you feel like you can't trust it. You pull away, you pick fights, you start looking for what's wrong. Not because you don't want love, but because love feels unsafe. So you practice staying. You practice opening, even when it feels foreign. You remind yourself, I'm safe to be loved. I'm safe to rest in connection. I don't have to earn it. I don't have to prove it. I can just be. This is the embodiment of safety. It's not a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. It's a moment-by-moment choice to align your energy with the reality you say you want. Because if you want a life of peace but you feel safe in chaos, you'll keep manifesting chaos if you want love, but you feel safe in rejection. You'll keep pushing love away if you want freedom, but you feel safe in control. You'll keep manifesting situations that trap you. The shift happens when you teach your body a new baseline of safety, and that means getting comfortable with the unfamiliar. It means letting go of the survival patterns that kept you safe in the past, but are keeping you stuck now. So when the fear comes up, when the old beliefs scream at you, when the world feels like it's falling apart, you don't collapse back into the pattern. You pause, you breathe. You remind your body, I'm safe here. I'm safe in the unknown. I'm safe in receiving. I'm safe in having more. And the more you practice this, the more you'll notice the outer world shifting, not because you forced it, not because you hustled harder, but because you became the version of you who can hold the life you're calling in. In the final section, we're going to talk about how this new identity changes everything and why the shift is permanent when it's embodied. This is where everything clicks, because once you embody the shift, once you teach your body what safety feels like, once you rewire your subconscious to expect alignment instead of chaos, the universe has no choice but to respond to that signal. It's not magic, it's physics. It's the law of resonance in action. Your external world will always match your internal baseline, so the question isn't, how do I make the universe give me what I want? The question is, how do I become the person who naturally receives it? This is where most people get stuck because they think it's about doing more. They think, if I just manifest harder, if I say the affirmations louder, if I visualize more vividly, then it'll happen. But that's not the shift. The shift is when you stop chasing the outcome and start becoming the version of you who already has it. Imagine you're trying to manifest a relationship. You're doing all the things, the vision board, the scripting, the energy work, but deep down you still feel unsafe in love. You still believe you'll be abandoned. You still expect rejection. So even when someone shows up who's healthy and available, you sabotage, you pick fights, you withdraw, not because you don't want love, but because love feels dangerous. So the work isn't to visualize the perfect partner. It's to heal the part of you that doesn't feel safe. Being seen, being loved, being chosen. It's to sit with the old stories of heartbreak and betrayal and say, I'm safe. Now that wasn't about me. That was a pattern I inherited. That was an old version of me that was surviving, not thriving. Or think about money. Maybe you're working on abundance. You're doing affirmations, you're following all the gurus, but money still feels scarce. And when it comes in, you feel guilt or fear, or you spend it immediately, because the body isn't calibrated for holding abundance. So you have to rewire at the nervous system level. You have to teach your body, I'm safe with more. I can hold it. I can expand without losing myself. I can thrive without guilt. And this is why people say quantum shifts feel like miracles, because once the body feels safe with the new reality, it comes in so fast, it feels unreal. It's like you've been in a maze your whole life, and suddenly the walls dissolve, but it wasn't the maze that changed. It was you. That's why it's not about the universe testing you or punishing you. It's about the universe matching you. So if you're broadcasting fear, you'll see fear. If you're broadcasting safety, you'll see opportunities. If you're broadcasting scarcity, you'll see limitations. But when you broadcast expansion, you see doors where there used to be walls. You see love where there used to be rejection. You see abundance where there used to be lack. The key is to stay in the frequency long enough for reality to reflect it. Because it's not always instant. There's a lag between the inner shift and the outer reflection. But it's not a sign that it's not working. It's a sign that you're building a new baseline, a new normal, a new identity. So when the old patterns try to pull you back, when the fear tries to take over, when the discomfort of growth feels unbearable, you remind yourself, this is the work, this is the shift. It's not about avoiding the discomfort. It's about sitting with it long enough for it to dissolve. Because when you can hold that new frequency, when you can live from that place of safety, when you can let the body feel safe with more, that's when the universe has no choice but to respond. Not because you forced it, but because you became it. This is where the old story ends and the new one begins. And the only question left is, are you ready to write it? So here we are at the end of this deep unraveling. And if you're still here, if you've made it this far, you already know something inside. You has shifted. Because this isn't just about information. This is about activation. It's about remembering who you are, beyond the fear, beyond the patterns, beyond the illusions that have kept you small. You are not here to play by the rules of limitation. You are not here to live a life that feels like a constant loop of pain and struggle. You are not here to settle for crumbs when you are wired for abundance. You are not here to chase love when you are the source of love. You are not here to beg the universe for permission when you are the universe experiencing itself. You are the key. You are the code. You are the shift. You are the one you've been waiting for. And when you really feel that, not just in your mind, but in your body, when you let that truth sink so deep that it becomes the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you hold yourself, then your entire reality has no choice but to bow to that energy. This is why you've struggled. This is why it's felt like nothing works. This is why you've been repeating the same cycles over and over. Because you weren't broken, you weren't blocked, you weren't cursed. You were just operating from a place that didn't feel safe enough to hold what you truly desired. But now you know the truth. And once you know, you can't unknow. This is the moment you get to decide, do I keep living from my wounds, or do I start living from my worth? Do I keep broadcasting the frequency of fear, or do I become the embodiment of safety? Do I keep waiting for the universe to give me what I want, or do I become the one who creates it from the inside out? No more waiting. No more hoping. No more chasing. This is the shift. You attract what you feel safe with. So if you want something different, you have to feel safe with something different. And that's not just a mental game. It's a somatic shift. It's a nervous system upgrade. It's a quantum leap that happens when you stop forcing and start allowing. So take a breath right here, right now. Feel it in your body. Feel the way it wants to expand. Feel the way it wants to hold more. Feel the way it wants to remember that you are safe, you are seen, you are worthy, you are enough. And from that place, the universe bends to you. This is the truth. Most people never get. This is the shift most people never make. This is why so many people stay stuck in loops. They can't see because they're looking at the external when the real change is internal. So as you leave this video, remember this. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a creator of reality, and the shift happens the moment you stop waiting and start becoming. This is your time. This is your turning point. This is the moment you stop attracting from fear and start manifesting from power. Because when you feel safe with the life you desire, it has no choice but to come to you.